DeSantis and President Donald Trump side by side in South Florida for the opening of a new migrant detention center.
Very soon, this facility will house some of the most menacing migrants, some of the most vicious people on the planet.
With protesters right outside rallying against the environmental impact.
We're not going to back down and just kind of let them do whatever it is that they want.
The Everglades are not a backdrop for political theater.
All for the opening of Alligator Alcatraz.
And for the past week, workers have been building a 3,000-bed facility for migrants. And Action News Jack's Jake Stofan got an exclusive invitation to the center today and has been bringing you coverage from the Everglades all day.
And it continues tonight with team coverage. We're going to show you the protests happening outside of that new center. But we start with state and local government reporter Jake Stofan, who explains how this detention facility will run.
And this facility is already prepared to house about 3,000 detainees. We're told the facility planned at Camp Blanding will be able to hold about the same.
It's known as Alligator Alcatraz, which is very appropriate.
President Donald Trump was in good spirits after touring what's been branded as Alligator Alcatraz, the new $450 million ICE detention facility built on a seldom-used airstrip in the heart of the Everglades.
Very soon, this facility will house some of the most menacing migrants, some of the most vicious people on the planet. We're surrounded by miles of treacherous swampland, and the only way out is really deportation.
Officials say the facility is ready to house up to 3,000 immigrant detainees with capacity for further expansions if needed. The detention center includes an air-conditioned dining hall and barracks, a point DHS Secretary Kristi Noem emphasized.
A higher standard than is required at state levels, at local Department of Corrections facilities, sheriff's offices. This is a state-of-the-art facility.
It only took 8 days to construct the facility, which will be staffed by a crew of 1,000, including 400 security guards. State officials claim the structures are able to withstand wind speeds of up to 110 miles an hour. A thunderstorm that erupted after the conclusion of the event, acting as an initial test run as Governor Ron DeSantis pushed back on environmental concerns raised in recent days.
They're not doing anything to disturb any other land. Even on the interior here, they're staying on the concrete. Like, oh, this is just like, well, we're getting, this will definitely try out this stuff.
He called on other states to follow Florida's lead and step up to help carry out the president's policy of mass deportation.
There's no reason why you can't have 20 Republican states doing something similar. That will be a force multiplier if that's able to happen.
And coming up on Action News Jax at 6, I'll give you an update on the plans to build a facility very similar to this one in our own backyard at Camp Blanding. For local coverage you can count on in Ochopee. I'm Jake Stofan, Action News Jax.
And today's tour also brought protesters to the Everglades. As Giovanni Diaz reports, they say the measure is harmful to the environment and a waste of taxpayer money.
They showed up with signs and megaphones.
Get out the way, out of our Everglades!
What does your sign say there?
No ice in the Everglades and no prisons on stolen land.
Demonstrators from all over the state came down to South Florida on Tuesday to take a stand against the new detention facility for undocumented immigrants.
Well, I'm here to voice my disapproval of the Alligator Alcatraz. We don't want this. The people are out here. I drove 2 hours. You know, I live in Cape Coral.
Governor Ron DeSantis says the state will pay for the center now with funds from the Division of Emergency Management. But DHS is expected to reimburse the state. Opponents say that's a problem.
The American people are suffering, and they are funding policies that create more suffering for no reason at all. They're funding policies that not only target Spanish people broadly.
And while most of those who were here on Tuesday were against the facility, a few demonstrators also showed up in support of the initiative. This supporter of President Donald Trump agrees with the facility, but hopes it won't stay around here for too long.
They should go ahead and double down on whatever precautions, whatever actions, measures that they take to provide protection for the environment and the people out here, just to make sure there's nothing happens to the environment.
And despite the legal challenges and protests, Governor Ron DeSantis says the new facility is now up and running. Reporting from the Everglades, I'm Giovanni Diaz, Action News Jax.
And there are 4 immigration detention centers in Florida. One of them is local in Baker County. The American Civil Liberties Union of Florida tracks complaints at these facilities that are sent to the Department of Homeland Security, and the complaints date back to 2017. The top complaint is the denial of medical care. Baker County has the most with 129 complaints. The second area with the most complaints is unsanitary conditions. The Baker County facility also has the most complaints about that. Action News Jax has continuing coverage of the opening of Alligator Alcatraz and the push for an ICE facility in our area on actionnewsjax.com and our app. You can see more from inside that facility and listen to President Trump's and DeSantis' roundtable discussion.